Hello everyone and welcome to Train Sim World 5. We are going to be taking these ES44s up the Cajon Pass today, and we're supposed to have a wildfire we're going to deal with. But first things first, we're going to get up in here and fire these engines up, get them ready to go. Then we have to go down here to the right and pick up some cars. They're going to be empty, so it's not a lot of weight for the Cajon Pass because the Cajon Pass is pretty tough to operate on. But it shouldn't be too bad today. And we're going to talk about Train Sim World 5. I will be using the Raildriver today as well, so that will be fun. Let's get in here and get things squared away. We'll get the engine generators on, all that stuff, everything we need for that. We're going to come over here, turn the ESC for the fuel pump on. We're going to open up the control cover. And over here, we've got this one in number 3 should be the short hood trail, which it is not, so short hood trail. Then we're gonna go to start, all the way over here, and we're just gonna press it in, and she's gonna come to life. There we go, wait for it to fire up, and then we will put it into the run position. There we go. It is firing up, no problem. Beautiful. So we can hear it running. Awesome. Crouch down again here, and we're going to put this now as it's coming up to life here to the run position, and we can close the cover as well. That's all we have to do for this trail end unit. Close it there, and we're going to go to the second one and kind of repeat the steps. We can always take the crossing chain out as well. All right, crossing chains are good to go there. Let's fire up the second engine now. We'll open this up here, and we're gonna go, all 3 of these guys are gonna come on. Come over to here, open up the control cover. ESC is gonna come on, and we're gonna put this one into single or middle since it's a middle unit, just like that. We'll put this thing over to start, press it in. Let it come to life. There we go, release that. And see if it is firing up. Love the sounds in this sim. It is pretty darn good. All right, I can hear it firing up. Just wait for it to idle a little bit here, and then we can put it into the run position. And we'll be good to go on this unit. So yep, you go over now to the run position. All that's good. Close the cover, and we're done with this engine. Now we just have to set up the lead, which is the game wants us to set up. So we will do that. All right, lead unit. Let's come over here, and we will set this one up to short hood lead. This is what this one should be set up for. Short hood lead. So we'll put this in on. We'll put that reverser in there, the handle. We're going to need that today. ESC is going to come on this guy. We're going to open up the cover, and we're going to put you into the start position, start the engine. You can hear it coming to life. And then this one is going to be short hood lead. So we want short hood lead. Right there. Let it idle out a little bit here before we put it into the run position. And then we are going to be good to go. Let's get some windows open here so we can listen to this beautiful train come to life. All right. Beautiful day here in California to go up the pass. All right. We're going to go down, come straight through here to run. There we go. And number lights in the front are going to go on. Close that cover. And that's all it takes to set up the locomotive. So we're going to sit in the engineer's seats and have a look here. There is the beautiful Raildriver right there, and we're going to go ahead and get this thing set up to the forward position. So forward on the reverser. There we go. Get moving. Set the automatic brake to release, which it is, and independence released. Yep, those are good. And now all we have to do is set our lights to bright aux on the front. Give it 2 blasts of the horn. Turn the bell off. We're gonna put this thing into 1 notch here. I'll get her rolling forward. So we have to roll forward, and then we're gonna have to change the actual tracks over so we can back up to where we need to go, which is back that way. So we're just gonna follow the prompts here to start with. It's a 10-mile-an-hour zone in the yard, so it's not gonna take very long for us to get there. So we'll put the throttle into idle and just kind of roll. We're on a 0.2% downgrade anyway, so that's the reason why we're gonna do that. Let's turn the bell on to alert people that, you know, we're moving the train around, but it is very annoying after a while, so I will shut it off. Let's also get our gauge lights on today. I like to have those lit up, look nice and pretty. So, Train Sim World 5 isn't a huge step up from Train Sim World 4 or its prior one. However, there are some things I really do like about this one, and the suspension on the locomotives, it's much better than it was before. And they also have flange squeals, which you'll see later on. Minimum application and brake here. You only need a little bit, release it, let it die off on the speed, because we only have 180 feet left to go until we just stop this bad boy. Come to a stop here, buddy. All right, a little bit further. Pretty much up here to the green little switch. And then we're gonna get out and we're gonna change that one over. So there we go. Let's go full application on this guy. Wanted full service, not suppression. There we go. That's good enough right there. They're happy with it. We are too. We need to switch the junctions. We're gonna do it manually because why not? All right, we've walked all the way down here to the switch. This is the one we need to hit. There we go, to the left. Perfect. All right, cool. Now we need to walk back to the train. Walking back to the loco, and we're gonna get ourselves a pretzel. I'll take a pretzel today. Thank you very much. Man, everybody in this game looks so depressed. Here are our 3 beautiful locos sitting here in the Burlington Northern Santa Fe colors. Love it. Love this locomotive. And very impressed with what it has to offer here in Train Sim World 5. So we're gonna go up here to our last one here, and then we just need to put the reverser into reverse, and we'll back this sucker around the corner. And then we want to get to about 3 miles per hour before we hit that that set of cars there when we couple, because we don't want to hit them too hard. Let's go over here, hop in the engineer's seat, and now we'll set that reverser over to reverse, just like that. Release these brakes, and then I like to look behind us here. We can actually open the door, and then we're going to go ahead and wait for the brakes to go away. Make sure that they are, and then we're going to go ahead and apply a little bit of power here. Sounds like we got another train moving through here in the yard. Right to our right. We're just about 1,800 feet away from those back there. We'll take our time, and we'll couple to our empties, and we'll get on the road. Well, on the rails in this case. All right, that AI train got through the yard there. We're getting closer to where we need to be, so we're gonna start bleeding some speed off here. Just add a little bit of Automatic brake, I'm gonna release it, and then we're gonna start using some independent brake to really fine tune our speed here since we're not attached to anything. Listen to the sound of that compressor. Oh, so good, man. So good. All right, let's see and make sure that everything's hooked up correctly. All right, we got the lines connected. Coupler looks good. We are ready for our journey up the Cajon Pass. Let's do it. I'm gonna release the automatic brake. Give her about throttle 1 here to start with, and we'll give it 2 short blasts of the horn, a little bit more power, about throttle 3. I'll get her rolling for sure. Nice. Get it right up to 10, like instantly. So usually in this yard, we're gonna have to be about neutral to notch 1 to maintain that 10. So, especially, you know, we're going 1.2% uphill. So throttle 1 will work for now. All right, so let's talk a little bit about Train Sim World 5 and what you can expect. Basically, I did not play Train Sim World 4. I skipped out on 4. I played the ones before it, and this is pretty much the same thing. A lot of performance issues right out of the gate. Now, I'm running everything on Ultra with my setup. However, your mileage may vary, and what I learned is that you have to do a full run. So I already had to do this run in order to prevent it from freezing and from stuttering constantly as it loads in shaders. So that's the reason for that. So if you load up in the game and you're like, why is everything stuttering? Well, bad news, you're gonna have to do that run in order to cash in everything for that run. So that's a little annoying for sure, especially if you're brand new to the game. And it's plagued it for a while, man. It really has. As far as the sim itself, there are some additions that have been made. You know, definitely, maybe this was in 4. I did not play 4, but the flange squeals are a nice touch whenever you're going around corners and stuff at higher speeds, which you'll hear later on. Also, the suspension, I don't remember it being this sensitive, which is good, because in a real loco, you're not gonna, you know, be nice and still. It's going to be moving around a lot. These are not smooth rails all the time. Depends on the company that owns it, but yeah, those are things that I'm seeing right out of the gate. Other than it feels like the previous Train Sim Worlds with the same problems. As far as routes go, I'm really not over the moon about what came with the deluxe edition. Now, I bought this myself. I bought the deluxe edition so I could have early access to it and all that. And yeah, it is not the greatest. So we're 1.1%. We need to add a little bit of brake here. Let's set this thing up into dynamic brake 1. So push it forward to dynamic brake 1. That should help us down this grade. And we're gonna add a little bit of automatic brake here to help assist while that dynamic brake is starting to ramp up a little bit here. But it really doesn't want to slow down, does it? Not really. We're only at a 1% downhill here. There we go. It's evening out now. We can release those brakes. Just gonna keep it in dynamic 1 for right now. Now we're in the 30-mile-an-hour zone, so never mind. Put that back into setup. Now we have to wait 10 seconds before we can use our throttle notch. So we'll wait that out. Now we're gonna set it to throttle 2. Make sure those are all off, and they are. So now we're gonna start increasing our speed to 30 miles per hour. And we're gonna be hitting the 60 zones, soon. So we need to get all our speed up that we can, because we're gonna be going up the hill, and you gotta be ready for that. So there we go. We're gonna go into notch 3, 4. Not 3 will work for right now. We're gonna get to 30, and then we're gonna 0.4 down. So we're gonna go ahead and just go to neutral right here. So idle. Almost to the 60 zone here, so we're going to go ahead and start bringing our throttle back in again. Throttle 2 as we're starting to go up the hill. All right, up the hill we're starting to go. We're on throttle 2 right now, as we're going to be in a 60 zone any moment. As soon as the back of the train passes there. And we're going to go to run 8 after that. So let's go to throttle 3 for now. As we're on a 0.5% upgrade now. We're waiting and waiting and waiting for that 60 zone. We got a green signal ahead. We're in the 60. We're going run 8. And you don't have a lot of time to mess around here because we have to get up the mountain, and you're going to lose that speed before you know it. So quicker you can gain it, the better you're going to be able to maintain it, because holding 60, even with empties up this pass, is going to be tough today. But we're going to go for it. We're in run 8, and now we're cruising, baby. Now we got some speed. Yeah, the sounds are fantastic, especially once, you start getting this engine screaming. 42 right now on a 1.4 uphill. A little bit of a stutter there, to be expected. That's the way she goes, man. All right, so brakes are good. We're run 8. Nothing left to do but enjoy. Here we go. Got another loco coming by here. About as wild as it is in real life. If you ever have been on a train, even a passenger train like Amtrak, and you go by another train, it is so crazy how close you get to the other ones. All right, we're at 53 now. Still going up the hill. Still 1.2. So we're going to keep it in run 8 for now. Even if we bleed a few miles per hour over, that's okay, because once we start getting into 2% and greater, we need all the speed we can get. All right, we're in the 70 zone, and we're just still giving her everything she's got right now. Turn that bell off as we went through a crossing. Yeah, we're at 59 right now, and we're 2.2% uphill. So imagine if we didn't nail that thing to run 8 right out of the gate when we got into the zone of 60, we would have been struggling to maintain speed all the way up this pass. But here she is moving all around. See how much quieter it is when you close the windows. But I like them open. I like to hear the wind rushing by us. Look at the movement of this locomotive. We've got our depressed individual over there, as per usual, on the left-hand side. Even though we opened the window for them, I don't know why they're so upset. One thing we can do here is we can turn this banking comm to on. And everything else is looking great so far, so on up the pass we go. right, we are currently 3.2 from our via location. We've got green signal ahead, still in the 79-mile-an-hour zone, but we're doing 53. We're giving her everything she's got up this hill right now, and it's taking a lot. So we got some miles left on us here before we start getting into the thick of things. All right, we're getting closer to a yard here. We're holding 50 right now, so we're just gonna go to throttle about 6. And that should help slow it down as we still have a 2.2% upgrade. We're up the hill we're going here as we enter the 50, so we're gonna be right on the dot there. And then we hit a 45, which is perfect because if we're in throttle 6 right now, we're slowly bleeding that speed off. So we'll be right at 45 when we get to that zone. Should be. Something I'm noticing with the route here is that there's just a lack of detail in a lot of spaces. Here, this is fine. Later on, you're going to see what I'm talking about, but like this here, they did not model the left side of the mountain. So, keep that in mind. Still the same old, man, when it comes to the laziness on some of the routes. And some of the routes are fantastic looking, and some of them are not. We're going to go to throttle 7 now. That should maintain about 45 miles per hour. We have a green signal here. Ignore half of the mountain missing there, but yeah, when we get up in the mountains, you're going to see what I'm talking about with the lack of detail on this route with the ground is pretty astounding considering the price point of the sim, you know. So we've got all of these shrubs here and everything. That all looks great, but you'll see what I'm talking about later on. So we're almost back to a 50 zone, so we're gonna start giving it everything we got.
An update on that wildfire. The fire department's on site, but the fire's not under control. There's a slight haze, but the track visibility is still good.
All right, so a wildfire is gonna be happening. They're saying the fire department's on scene, but it's not looking good. All right, 45 right now. We're getting closer to that 50. We're just gonna maintain this for now, but soon as we get near this 50, we're gonna go back to run 8 again and climb the hill the best we can. So we've got smoke. We're gonna close our windows here, and we're gonna get this fan turned on as well to keep all the smoke out of here as we possibly can. I know you're depressed and it's not a good day for you, but we need to close these windows, okay? I know you have a death wish, but I'm gonna go ahead and turn the fan on for you, okay? All right, you're welcome. So we're doing 1 mile over the limit. We're now in the 50, so we're gonna go run 8, baby, all the way. This is everything we have to throw at this thing, and it's getting very smoky outside. Quite smoky indeed. All right, they gave us an update on the fire again. They're saying that they're still fighting it. We're still able to continue up the pass, and they advised we close the windows, which we already did, and we turned on the fans. So we're ahead of the game when it comes to that. Having some good old-fashioned black coffee today for our journey up the pass. Throttling down to notch 6 right now, as we're still in a 50-mile-an-hour zone. And we're maintaining pretty decent speed up it. So we're starting to gain a little bit. But now we're starting to lose speed, so we can add it back. Back to throttle 8. And I'm just watching that trending bar so I can see what the speed's doing. It's maintaining it right there in the center right now. So we're back on a 2.2%. We have a yellow signal coming up. So we have to slow down a little bit here and use caution. All right, we have our dynamic brake set to 3 right now. We're hitting a 40 zone, so we're slowing down, which that's more than enough basically right there. We're gonna be in 40 before you know it, so we'll put it back into off. Let it sit for 10 seconds before we can use that throttle again. But we're starting to trend right at about 40 miles per hour. So we nailed that. And there's another train headed down the pass. It is cool to see all the AI trains on this line. I do like that. So 2.7 miles to go. So that's going to be a minute. All right, seeing what this signal is doing here. It is steady, so it's steady. We need to slow down to 30 here, and we're gonna do exactly that. Add a little bit of brake. Add a bit of brake here. Don't want to be too fast through here. So yeah, we're steady, not flashing. There we go. Gets to 30 like in no time when you just use a little bit of brake, especially when you're on a 2.1% grade up the hill. Let's give it back about throttle 4, well, probably 5. I should maintain our speed. All right, we still have a yellow signal. We're gonna be in a 50 zone here shortly, but we still have a yellow signal. So we're still in the 30 mile an hour range we're supposed to be in. We're gonna see if it's flashing or if it's staying steady. Hopefully it's flashing so we can at least get to 40 miles per hour. That would be nice, because cruising up this mountain at 30 is not exactly fun. We were given up to 40 miles per hour. We're going to be hitting the 35 zone here as we enter a small yard. So we're going to go ahead and throw this sucker into idle and let it bleed its speed off naturally here to 35. We only have 5 miles per hour to lose. And then we're going to put it back into a throttle position. Yep, we're making this switch over now there. So it's perfect timing on that. And probably about throttle 4 to maintain 35-ish. No, it's still slowing down a little bit, so maybe even a little bit more. Maybe throttle 6 or 7 here. Notch 6 or 7, we'll see if that helps things out. Because yeah, we're gonna be at the 35 before you know it. It won't take long at all. All right, back into run 8. We're 2.7 going up the hill. We got another yellow coming up here. We're going to see if it's flashing or if it's steady. And we'll have an idea of what we can actually do speed-wise. Haven't heard any updates on the fire yet, but I think we're going to here in a minute, right around the via location spot. So just keeping our eyes out in front of us. So we're going to be at this signal before you know it. And we'll see what we got. So it's going to be 30 miles an hour through here. So we're going to go ahead and just kind of bleed off a little bit of speed here. That'll work for me. There we go. I think we're going to be about throttle 3 or 4 here to maintain 30. Probably 4 is what it's looking like. Yeah, that's better. All right, sweet. Well, let me know in the comments below what y'all think of Train Sim World 5. And if you want to see more of it here on the channel, you can check out the other routes. You can go across the seas and operate the different locomotives. Okay, let's add a little bit more power. Maybe throttle 6 now to maintain that 30. But as indicated, we're going via location. All right, you got it. A couple stutters here and there to be expected, but other than that, it's been a pretty smooth ride so far. All right, coming up to 28. Let's try notch 5 to maintain the 30. Let's see if it'll do that, or we're going to lose speed. But right now, it doesn't look like we are. It's like we're holding right where we should be, considering that signal was solid yellow. Now, I'm going off of what BNSF Railway does. They do 30 for a solid, and if it's flashing, you can do 40. Notch 7 right now, maintaining right around 30 miles an hour, 29 right now. And we're gonna be in a 30 zone in a second. So it all worked out fine. We should be good on that. Now the tricky part is when we start going downhill, we have to use that dynamic brake. We have to stay ahead of our train because it is heavy. It doesn't take much. So we're gonna go to throttle 5, maintain this 30 right around here. You can see the trend starting to drop on us. And maybe go 6 on that guy. There we go. That should maintain right around 30. I think that'll work.
Getting clear of the smoke now. Stop at Summit until we can clear the backed up traffic at Hesperia.
All right, you heard it from them. So we have to stop at Summit in 4.3 miles right now. That was weird. We had a whistle board there, but no crossing. But I did it anyway because we're a good engineer. We're still in the yellow right now, so we're not going to exceed this 30 for now. But we're going to get on the top of the summit here, and it's going to start getting flatter. And then after that, it's going to start going downhill. And we have to stop on a downhill, which is going to be pretty tough. Maintaining 30 miles per hour right now, 3.1 miles to where we have to come to a stop. And I believe that will end this route when we get there. But in the meantime, we're going to maintain our speed. See how we get into the 50 zones here? It's very tricky. You may have a 50 mile an hour zone or a 55, but we have to watch those signals and see what they're saying so we know what we can actually get away with. See how it says 40? Well, we're not really supposed to be doing that, so we're going to go to throttle 5. We're starting to get a little bit flatter. Now we're only 0.6%. Might even go down to throttle 4 right now to bleed even more speed off. Right now it's going to maintain about 35, which is okay. But I am anxious to see what this signal is going to tell us. All right, now we're going downhill, so we're going to go ahead and put that throttle to idle. We can do 40 through here, so let's go ahead and start bringing our dynamic brake in here. We're 2.6 miles from our stop. And now you're going to hear the sound of this dynamic brake, man. It sounds so good when it's screaming down the hill. All right. It's already starting to slow down. That's pretty impressive. We're maintaining speed right here on the dynamic brake where it's set. We'll start adding a little bit of our automatic brake, minimum application to that, because we need to come to a crawl. See how we're going downhill? It's going to be easy to lose this whole train if you're not careful. So we're going to slow down to about 20. We're 9,000 feet from our stop, but we don't want to be going anything faster than about 20 miles per hour right now as we start to come to a stop. Always got to stay ahead of the entire train, that's for certain. So now we can go dynamic brake to off. We're going to let that cool down for about 10 seconds before we can use any throttle. Just using the brakes right now. We're about 10 miles an hour. I'm going to go to release here. We're going to be at a crawl for a minute. All right, now we're at 1.5%. Add a little bit more of the automatic brake here as we are getting closer and closer to our stop, which is going to be around the bend up here. We're just being careful. It's always better to be slower than you need to be than to be quicker than you need to be, because it takes a long time to stop this thing, especially on a downgrade of a 1.5%. Doesn't seem like it's that much, but it is indeed that much. There we go, about right there. We're gonna release it. Hear those compressors kicking in. 5,000 feet till where we need to stop, which is just around the bend. All right, I can see our signal up ahead, so we're just using our automatic brake as we need to. Just gonna keep it right around 10 miles per hour right now. We're just 2,000 feet away from where we need to stop, so we don't need to be going anything quicker than that. And you can see the grade is starting to get worse right here. That is the challenge here of this scenario, is to get this entire train stopped before the red signal, which we can see is coming up very quickly. Add even a little bit more brake there, about 30%. I want to crawl this thing down the hill here. Nice and easy. Maybe even more brake than that, because we're doing 14. She does not want to slow down. You can see the trend is starting to come back to us, so that's good. That's exactly what we want to see. There we go. So we know the brakes are working really well. We can bring them back a little bit. And we're just going to play with this automatic brake as we come down the hill and come to a stop. So as we're getting closer to the end here, it's a little bit too much. Let's release the brakes, let it roll down the hill a little bit. All right, as we're rolling down the hill here ever so slightly towards our signal, we're about 700 feet away from our stop. Let's talk about the Raildriver. I've had this thing since 2016. It's been fantastic for me. I really do like it. Keep in mind, this may on camera, it may look more sturdy than it actually is. It's very cheap plastic, and especially like the horn little tab here is very loose. So if you're in the market for a Raildriver, they are expensive. They're the only thing really out there for what it does. But it is not high quality, I will tell you that. You got to take care of it. Like, that's why I just barely touch these things. And she's been good to me since 2016. So that is all I got to say about the Raildriver. All right, we're coming up here to our signal. This is doing really well here. We're just going to go to full application on the brakes here in a moment, because you don't want to roll past it. If you roll past it, you're in trouble. So we can see it's starting to want to speed up. We're going to be full service on the brakes. Come on, baby. Come to a stop. It's slowing down. You can see it trending down, which is good. And this should make them happy. We'll see. It's all about right here. There we go. Objective complete.
I see you made it in one piece. Keep the train parked up here till dispatch gives you the green light.
All right, we're going to set our independent brake all the way full. And I think that is it. We just stop at the summit. And there you go. Performance Breakdown, baby. Let's see what we did here. We are a level 6 now. Cajon Pass level 5. BNSF ES44C4 level 5. Getting more there. So it took me about an hour and a half to get to the end here, but we did mess around at the very beginning. So there you go. Not bad at all. And that is a look at Train Sim World 5. Back to the main menu. Let me know what you thought of it in the comments below, like I said, and I will see you guys next time. Take care.